Hey everyone, I'm really happy to tell you that Wet n Wild has released 2 new limited edition palettes. I'm happy and I'm kind of sad at the same time because we all know how hard these can be to find. With that being said, Nouveau Cheap's blog, please Google her. She is awesome. I'll leave a link below. She has little interactive sighting maps on her blog so you can find out where these are being spotted. So that might help you out. But if all else fails, there is always eBay, but please try to stay away from eBay. Also, guys, if you like to buy limited edition products and you're having trouble finding them, my friend Mac_lip_lover, I believe her name is, on Instagram, has great prices on a lot of different limited edition drugstore items that she is selling, so check her out. With all that out of the way, these are fantastic. Now, I know a lot of you higher-end lovers kind of like, sorry, whiteness. I know a lot of you higher-end lovers kind of scoff at Wet n Wild products sometimes, and understandably so, but in terms of pigmentation of these products and their formula and everything, they're very similar to stuff I've seen from Urban Decay and MAC. And let's face it, MAC has had some duds too. Carbon in like every palette is a nightmare. So please do not discard Wet n Wild just because you are a higher end lover. These are really great. So let's talk about the color schemes. We have your more neutral and then we have your orchid colors, I believe. I think that this was supposed to be for the color of the year. I think that that's where they drew their inspiration for it. And this one is called Flirting at the Afterparty. And if you remember last year, the white palettes, the white 8pan palettes had flowers in the corner. These have flashing lights. Now you do get 8 colors, and the 8 colors in this pan are quite similar, but you have a few little diamonds in the rough. You have this shade right here, which is a kind of muted purple, but it's got some subtle silver glitter. Let me open it up because I feel like the sun is just taking away. And you do get an applicator. I hate their applicators, but one side is a sponge and the other side is a brush, but please don't use it. It's kind of terrible. I mean, if you don't have any brushes, by all means use this, but this little brush thing at the tip is just awful. Horrible. So let's look at it. As you can see right here, the eyelid color, by the way, if you're new to makeup and you don't know where certain colors go, or you look at a palette and you think, oh, that's a lot of eyeshadow, you don't realize that they can all work together. Wet n Wild makes it convenient for you that you know that, okay, this can be used on the brow bone, the eyelid, the crease, the definition, and they have a little step-by-step chart on the back, like color by numbers on your eyes, how to get subtle look, sweet look, wild look. They give you a lot of different options, okay? So, great for people that are just starting out in makeup if you need little directions. So this shade right here really impressed me because it's got that subtle white glitter, but it's actually shimmer, so it's very micro, so when you apply it to your eye, you kind of don't lose it. You know what I'm saying? But if you do see yourself losing it, I would say pat it on, but when I applied it, I really didn't lose it. Then we have shades like these 2 matte shades right here that applied gorgeously. I love them. And then you have these 2 frosty shades right here, this being more of a favorite than this one, but this one has a beautiful pink reflection, as you can see where I swatched it. I think that any of these shades can be used anywhere on the eye. I would say have fun and experiment. Don't just be limited to this. Now we also have 2 kind of shimmery shades down here, and they're very pretty. This one kind of reflects like an indigo, and this is also a blue-based purple. But one of my favorites is this one, just because it kind of reminds me of heroin a little bit. So let me swatch this one up for you. And by the way, usually it's supposed to be like each one is a look in and of itself. So let's start. I'm going to start with Brow Bone. So this is the Brow Bone shade. And this one kind of has like an iridescent sheen to it. And if you're wondering, oh, but it's a little light, it's supposed to be. Because what you do with your Brow Bone shade is you apply it right under your brow bone. You could apply it into the corner of your eye. It's meant to highlight and brighten your eye. So don't be dismayed if you think, well, that's so underpigmented. It's kind of supposed to be. Then we have the eyelid shade, which I said you have your slight glitter in it, your slight shimmer. And when you apply it, you still kind of see it, not in my swatch because you probably shouldn't use your finger to put it on, but when you use a brush, you will not lose that slight glitter, maybe because it's too thick there. Oh, okay, now you can kind of see it right up there. So you don't really lose that, which is nice. Then we have our crease shade, which, like I said, is a matte. By the way, these aren't as soft as ones we've seen in the past, but the shadows still are pretty soft, so be easy and gentle on them, or they can become chalky. None of the shades actually were too chalky, but they can become if you press a little too hard. Then the definition shade, which is really pretty too, has a little bit of sheen to it. So it's a really kind of like monochromatic look on this side. I would say, you know, combine both of them, because if you don't, you're going to wind up with a very monochromatic look if you just use that side of the palette. But you can combine either side, use this as your brow, your eyelid, so forth, so forth. And I believe if you use it the other way up, you can get a really smoky eye. If you use your definition shade as your eyelid shade and your brow bone shade as your crease shade, really smoky, really nice shade. So let's start with the other side. Now the other side's kind of more pink based. This is more blue based. This is more pink based. So I'm going to do it right next to it so you can see the difference. So that's the brow bone shade. This is the eyelid shade. That's that matte shade. This is the crease shade. Has a little bit of shimmer to it. And then this is the definition shade. So this side is a little bit more smoked out than the other side. Here you go. And you can kind of see the blue and pink differences now that I have it swatched on my hand. Now I applied it on my hand without using a primer. Now when I apply my shadow, you should always use a primer to make the shadows last longer, to make them not crease, to give them just an overall brighter look than when you see them on my hand. So when you apply them over a primer, they're definitely going to be much brighter. So these swatches are doing them very little justice, but I just wanted to give you a feel for the color if you didn't have a primer. But if you don't use a primer, then they're a little bit more subtle. So if you thought, wow, those purples are just too out of my range, you can definitely sheer them out. Next up, we have the more neutral palette, and in this palette we have your simple soft pink, your browns. This kind of reminds me of Exclusive Event from MAC, and I feel like this shade would go great with the new Maybelline Buffs collection. But this one right here, this gold, really reminds me of something similar to higher end cosmetics, such as Urban Decay. I feel like we've seen this color from them a few times. It's not a color you see in the drugstore, at least not this pigmented, and I can't wait to show you guys it. Again, you have your little step-by-step color by numbers on the back, and this one is called Walking the Red Carpet. Now, this side really is just your run-of-the-mill neutral shades that every woman should have them in their collection. And for $4.99, you not only get your nudes that you should have in your collection anyway, but you also get some really pop-out shades, like this iridescent white. It's very frosty white. Not iridescent, it's frosty white. You get your bright yellow gold, a little bit of like a coppery gold, and then you get a shimmery brown. I feel like if you use this side with this side, you're perfect, because if you mix your mattes and your golden shades, you're going to have a beautiful eye look, I guarantee it. So let's start with the pink, with this side. So I'm going to swatch this up for you on my hand. So here's the pink highlight. And again, it's supposed to be a sheer shade because it's meant to brighten the eye. Then we have the nude shade, which is really, really pretty, I feel. Hold on, this. Really, really pretty. Has a little bit of iridescent to it. White reflection, just slightly. Then we have the brown, which is more of like a chocolatey brown. Actually, it's the nude color actually isn't like that. It's, hold on. Here, let me re-swatch that nude for you guys, because it's looking a little, there we go. That's the nude. Sorry, it doesn't really have iridescent shimmer on it. I didn't clean off my finger good enough. But if you mix these two together, at least you know you can get a shimmery nude. So here's the nude. It's a kind of grayed nude, very similar to like the Riri colors, the Riri nude. And then the final shade is a darkened chocolate brown. Great for a smoky eye or just to define the look. You can use that one as a liner. Then on the next side, here's the exciting side. You have the brow bone shade, which again is a very light frosty color. You can kind of see how the baby pink matte shade from the other side is more pink rather than white as opposed to this side. But this one, this is my favorite. Look at that. Oh my god. Now this shade, you know, usually I tell everybody use a brush, use a dense brush with these shades, but this one I feel like you're going to have to use your finger to rub it onto the eye, because otherwise the pigmentation just might not stay, or I suggest using your brush wet. So let's go to the next color, the crease shade. This shade is gorgeous too, and you can really see how they pair up side by side, how well they would match together. And then the definer shade, which is another winner. So this side really is a winner over and beyond. So, the Wet n Wild Spring palettes that are limited edition give you the option to go pink or go gold. I feel like both palettes would work well together because you have your metallic shimmery nudes and then your bright colors. So if you're not used to wearing fully bright colors, you can use these as just a pop of color with these. And for $4.99, you're getting a lot of looks for $10. So hopefully you guys find it. I would love for you guys to find it. Are you interested in these? Do you think that you have shades like this already? Were you so disappointed in the shades last year that you just don't even want to bother looking for these? Do you like Wet n Wild qualities? Because I've been hearing that a lot of people don't want to bother with these because they feel like the quality of Wet n Wild has gone down. And honestly, I passed completely on the little ones because the quality didn't really they looked very chalky. These are not really chalky, these are not too soft. These are kind of really a great drugstore product. They're right on target with their price. They feel like they're worth a little bit more than they're selling them for. So I think that these are great options to pick up. It's just a shame that they're limited edition. So I hope you guys find them. I'm going to be posting some eye looks using them on my Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. Please follow me there. I'm Recycled Stardust.